Welcome back, all my Lego friends. This is Callie. I'm here again with another piece of the gymnastics gym. And this is, I want to call it an extra. I mean, I've seen them in some gyms, not too many. I see them in a lot of places that are outside, like the beach. If you ever go to Santa Monica, California, they have these. And then all the gymnasts come and play on the rings. So I'm going to make a ring set for you guys. And this is something you can do according to your size. So you have something that you want in a smaller area, you're going to build it smaller. If you want a larger ring set, you're going to build longer. Now, if you do go much longer than what I have here, you're going to have to add things in the middle to kind of give it support. And I can show you what that looks like. However, this is what I've built so far. This is my ring set. Like this, and you just, whatever rings you have, you're gonna add them to whatever top you want to build. And what I mean by that is a lot of you aren't going to have these pieces, which are totally fine. So if you don't have those pieces, I've made another one, same concept, but it looks like this. Now this one is held together by straight pieces at the top and little gritty bumpy pieces at the bottom. Those little pieces. That's what that's held on to. So you're going to give it extra support by adding the straight pieces, which look really nice. And it, again, it depends on how long you want your ring set to be. If you only want it to be that short, because you only have something that long, you can add that. Now, if you don't have those little pieces here, that's okay, because you can always go in and build something that is like this. I'm going to take these off. This is the very easiest way to build them. So if you only need these pieces. Same concept though. So if you're going to build a ring set with only these pieces, depending on how long and how many rings you have, it's going to determine how many of these you want to add. And if you do want to add these, the only thing you're doing is taking your rings and adding them to a chain. Or if you don't have the chains, that's okay too. You can add like little webbing, like I've added, right? These like string pieces. Now again, this is working with whatever you have. So go collect, stop the video, and you're gonna collect however many ring chains or rope that you have. So you're going to collect these, right? Chains are different sizes, right? I have some that are like this, some that are super long, which is why we added these guys, right? They're just, I'm just gonna take all this apart, I guess. All right, so if you have the longer ones, that's okay. All you're gonna do is make it go through something to let it hang, so it ends up being like that, if that makes it all any sense. That's why what you use the top is sort of important, right? Because you don't want to have it too low that it hits the ground, right, or the mat. You want to kind of make it so it's even, like this, right? And believe it or not, it's going to stay like that as you swing with your guys. It's not going to move much. It's pretty much in there. So depending on what length chain you have, depends on what you're going to use here. So if you have really extremely long pieces, like this, you're either going to get something you can loop it around, or you're going to make something like this, right? And you can definitely loop it around and come through. So it really does depend on what you want to add for the top of yours, I guess the base of it, the very top. So with that said, here's some options. I've done this for the extra long chains, right? So you can grab a bunch of these. If you're gonna use these, that's when your chain, your extra long chain, is gonna loop through these guys. It's gonna look like that. It's for the extra long ones. Then if I have some more, take this one apart. So here's the other one. So if I have that one, remember, it's going to also loop through. These are the extra, extra long ones. And you're just going to kind of go like that. And you're going to play with it. Whatever looks good to you is what you're going to do. So I used 2 long ones for this one. And these are super easy to build because you literally just have these 3 pieces, the 2 chains, the extra long chains, right? Super long chains. And then you want to add these guys here. These are the little pieces. They go inside 1, 2. You're going to put those through there. And then clip it together. Now I like to make sure that they all look the same, because you do have that nice smooth and the rough one. I guess the good side and the bad side. The open side is the closed side. So if you want to build that, that's how you build that one. And you can get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these if you want. It's however long you want to build it, depending on how many of these you have. So if you have 4 of these, get 6 of these, right? If you have 4 chains, get 6 of these. Now, you have to think about what you want to use for the actual rings. We're using these. Now, I also have these rings. They also work extremely well. They're fun, right? You can use those. I've used steering wheels for rings. That's fun too, because they just attach to the bottom. See that? They just go right into here. And I always add them after I build them. See, there's your ring or your steering wheel. But it's whatever you have that you can make a ring set out of. Now, that's one. So another one you could build is this. It's another fun one. And you're literally, however many across you want to do. Remember, you can do short, you can do long. You can only just do one, that's fine too. If you're gonna make one of them. Now I do these for the extra short chains. The short chains, because they're gonna fit into these holes. They're gonna fit just like that. And I do every other if I do this one. So if I do here, I skip 2, and then I add 1. So if you want to stop the video and collect these, your chains, and however many you want to add to this, it always depends on how many of the short chains you have. So then I skip 2 and I add it here, right? Now I don't have any more of the short chains, but you get the idea. Now let's say I don't have any more of the short chains and I have this long piece. I'm just going to make it go wider, right? Maybe I go 3 across. I skip 3. That's got to go in here. And I like to make it look nice. So if that means I have to take one off because I messed up, that's what I'm going to do. Presentation is everything. This is why we're doing it. So there you go. So there you have it. So this is another one. Now, if you want to add more, because you have a lot of these little chains, you can do that. You can do that by taking another one of those pieces. And remember, we're going to make this really strong, right? So you have to think, how can I make it strong, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to collect a bunch of these according to how long you have it. It's going to go on the bottom. And to make it look nice and to give it some more, you're going to add the smooth pieces. That's going to go on the top. So you're going to find another one, and you're going to connect the two like this. The smooth pieces are going to go all the way across, and the rough pieces are going to go on the bottom. It holds everything tight together. I like to start at the middle. If I do start at the middle, I hold it together, I find a smooth piece, and I connect it. That's what it looks like right now. Now I add more smooth here and more smooth there. Got some 1x1s, I got some 1x2s, and the 1x1. And remember, you want to ideally make these all the same colors. They look nice, right? I'm just doing this so you can see what I've laid and how I laid them. So there's your smooth tops. Now you want to get to the back, right? That's when you pick up a bunch of these, preferably the same colors. They look really nice. And you can add it to the bottom, just like I'm doing now. Another one, I'm gonna add that to the bottom. And remember, I like to have these the same color because they look nice, right? They look really nice if you do the same color. Okay, here we go. That's how you build this one. Now, when you're done building this, you can always then add the rings to it, right? And remember, you don't have to have all the same color rings. They actually look, I think they look better without having the same ones. And then remember, I don't have a lot of rings, so I'm gonna add a steering wheel. It's whatever you have, to be honest. Whatever you have. All right, so now it's coming along. See that? That looks really nice. Now, with that said, we've built that one. We've built this one. Well, sort of, kind of. It's sort of, kind of there. Boom, boom. There you are. Now, it's a second way of doing it. That one's done. That one's done. And that's how they hang onto it. So if you have a friend that wants to swing, here you go. That's how they're going to hold on to it. Now let's say you don't have any of those pieces and you're like, oh my gosh, I just want it to look so much better. You can build this one. These are super easy. I know that most of you have those, right? I know most of you have the two pieces. I know that most of you have these guys. That's what you're really going to use. You're going to use that. You're going to use these unless you have something taller, much taller or much wider. You can use that too. Now, I like to go with the rule two apart and every other. So every other. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Now, that's going to be a 10, 1, 10, 1. 10 by 1, 10 by 1. 10 by 1s, 10 by 1s. I've added 2 of them. So if you could find 2 10 by 1s, or you could just do 1 10 by 1. Okay? You don't need to do it longer. That means you have 1, 2, 3 rings that you can do. I like to have them longer because that's what you see on like ring set outside. Like maybe you go into New York City, they have these, I've seen them there. I've seen them in Santa Monica, California on the beach. That's where I'm getting this idea from. And same logic. However long you have them, you want to stick to the same length. And they just go on the ends of these. Just like that. You're going to hook one there, here, here, and here. This is how you make them. You're going to want to take your ten by 2 or 1 by 10, and you're going to take this thing. You're going to go every 2. Let me see if I do this right. All right, so you're gonna skip one, you're gonna add that. You're gonna skip two, you're gonna add one. Skip two, add one, skip two. What you're doing is you're allowing a spot here to be connected to the other side if you wanna do it longer. You may wanna do 3 or 4 of these, but you're literally building the same thing over and over again. That said, take out another one, go collect your pieces, and start building it. Again, you're just doing the same thing. Skip one, add it. Skip two, add it. Skip two, add it. Skip two, and that's where it's going to connect. Okay? Now, you're going to add it together. You have these two pieces, right? They look very much alike. All you're doing is repeating the process. Then you're going to add the 1 to 1. See how you have a 1 to 1? Right there, 1 to 1. You're going to add a 2 piece right there so it connects it. Connect it right there. And I'm going to do it yellow so you can see it. And add it right in the middle. Now it's connected. See that? Connected it right there in the middle. Now you're going to add the same piece here, 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 here. So go gather 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 2x1s. It's going to look like this. 2x1s. And you're going to hook it right where you had it done the other one. Right in the middle. Right in between the two. Right in between the two. And mine look like this now. I added the 2x1, 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 and then I left this blank, and I left that blank. Because this is where you're going to hook it onto a piece like that, right? So depending on what you have, it's going to kind of click into here, right? But that depends on how you want to build your base for it. That's what it looks like. Now, to make it extra strong, remember, now you're going to add these to the bottom of this. So I'm going to add from the middle, so we know that we can lock it in place, because that's where it's going to break the very first time you do this. So I put mine in the very middle. There you go. And then you want to add whatever pieces you have to the rest. Maybe you have a 2x1, maybe you have a 4x1. I did a 4x1. And I don't think I have another 4x1, so I added a 2x2. What I'm doing is creating a spot on top of the broken pieces there. So have here to here, here to there. So I'm going to do a 2x1 there and another 2x1 there. So this is what it looks like. Now is the fun part. You get to add your chains, right? Depending on what size you have is going to depend on how tall you make whatever you want to sit it onto, right? So if you have a short chain, you can add a short one. If you have a long chain, you're going to take it apart and you're going to do that, right? So it always depends on what kind of chains you have. Remember, you may not have what I have. I don't have what you have. So really think about what length of a chain you have, right? So there's that. So we've made 3 separate ones. The next one we're going to build are these. This is the easiest one because guess what? You only need 3 pieces for this. 2 that are the same, and then you got your center piece that holds it together. Just like that, right? If you do have this piece, you're going to put it in the middle. Like that. You take this, and I like to line it up. So, I like to do all straight. I don't think it looks so nice if you do it like that. It looks kind of wonky, right? But that's okay too if you want to make it look that way. That's okay. Always depends on what you have. Let me turn it this way. All right. So now think about how you want to add it to your set. If you want to add it this way, if you want to add it that way, I'm going to add it that way. I want to add mine this way. I'm doing that only because I have the long pieces, the long chains, super long chains. That's the whole reason why I'm using this, because I have the super long chains. Now, you're going to figure out where you want to stick them so they can go in there pretty good. I'm going to stick mine through here, like that. And then I'm going to stick mine through the next one. It does take some pulling to get it through. It's like flossing teeth almost, right? But it does get in there. Just takes a little bit of time. Maybe a little fingers, it's better. I don't know. There it goes. Okay, it does go in there. Just take some wobbling. Now, here you are. That's if you have the super long chains. You can always do this. This is a really awesome alternative. Now that we have that, we're going to add 2 more here, or 1 more long one to equal 2. So, where did the other long one go? Where did my long ones go? It's not there. Oh, here it is. I don't have that many, so I'm trying to show you guys these. Now that one fit in really easily. See? Sometimes they go in easily, other times they don't. And they are perfectly sized. Look at that. That's pretty neat. Now this is a little wider than that and that. So could we make it even wider? Let's see. Can I put it over here? Ooh, that looks good. I think. Somewhat good. All right, no matter what, it's not going to be even, but it is going to give you what you want, the effect that you want. And then, of course, you add another long one. You've got 6. 2, 4, 6. You'll have 6 of them. So there you have it. Now, the next step is kind of going to be hard, but not really. You have to think about how you're going to add this to your ends. So now you're going to create 2 ends, right? I've created something like this, right? Now you can size this up by getting a friend, getting a Lego figure, right? And figuring out, does that work? If you have it like this, is that tall enough? Let me see. If she hangs on to her steering wheel, the funny thing is the steering wheels don't even work. We'll add the ring that I originally used. All right. So there you go. He hits the bottom of my floor. So the problem is we're going to have to go up a little bit. So maybe we add up a tad. So if I add it up a little bit, does he hit the floor? No, he does not. So you might have to do something like that, where you add a landing spot for these guys to kind of hang out on. All right, so I had to add something to the bottom so he would freely swing. But there he is. So there's your rings. Whoosh. So there's your ring. Now, you got to figure out how in the world you're going to build this and this and what you're going to add. So I've done it many different ways. And it all depends on how long your ring set is. So build the length first and then think about the base. What I mean by that is you can do something easy as this by putting two together, just like this, right? And then building from here, right? You could do that. Just like this. So let's say we've built this one and it's all the same. It's all the same. You're going to find two pieces. So maybe I want to use this. Maybe this is what I want. I'm going to put this on top of that, right? Put that one on top of there. And then I'm going to add another one. There's the second one. I'm going to add that to here. And I'm going to do it the same way. It's not going to be even. That's okay. So there's 3 here, 4 here. There should be 3 here, 4 here. So make sure you do it the right way, right? And then you're going to add pieces here, and then one to go across. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to add my 4 piece here on top. Fix that in place. I'm going to add my 2 piece here. Ideally, you want to add a 1 by 1. I just don't have it here. Ideally, you want to do a 1 by 1. Like that, right? And then you're going to find either a longer piece like this to cover your 8 by 1, or you can just go like this and put it across. You're literally only making it so it locks it in place, right? And then you're going to add here, and then you're going to add the rest of the way on top of it. Do the same thing to the other side. Same thing to the other side. And that's what that looks like, okay? Now you're gonna add another thing down here and another thing down here. Again, depending on what size chains that you have. Do you have ones that only look like this? You have 4 of those that you wanna use? Do you have the shorter ones? Do you have these short ones? Remember, that's gonna tell you how long you want your 4 legs to be, right? So let's just say I have the tiny short ones. I'm gonna add 4 of the same size pieces. Looks like I don't have the 4th one. So I'm going to add that one because I don't have the 4th one. Now it is not the same length, which is okay. It's just a little bit more. So it's a 1 by 1 brick. So if I go and find a 1 by 1 brick, which I can't find a 1 by 1 brick, I might have to get up and go grab it. All right. We need 3 of these. Because remember, I only added that 1 here, so we have to go upside down, add it to the bottom. Remember, whatever you're going to do, you're going to do 4 times. Oh, that's popcorn. We don't want popcorn. Okay, now it looks like that. Like that. Now you're going to add the base. So anything you want to add to the bottom. You can add 2 of these. I think I might just stick with this. I'm going to stick with my base like this. So I'm going to add it to it. I'm going to try Now, the interesting thing about this is that you don't have to keep this all one level, right? I've toyed with the idea that maybe I can make it on a slope, like a hill, right? If you want to do that, you could do that with these guys here. You don't make it too much of a slope because it's going to be too hard to go down and go up. Because remember, I'm going to add this to my conditioning area. So if I do this, who's to say that I don't have to stick with it being level, right? And this is for any of them. Let me do one more. And this could have your gymnast going uphill or downhill. Now you have it somewhat of a sloped, right? There you go. Then, now that you have all that together, you're going to add your chains, right? Maybe you have a really, really teeny tiny chain. I like to add these to them first before I add it to my set. Remember, add it first, then add it to your set. And they do go on either side of this piece there. You can do the front or the back. The front or the back. I don't have too many of these short ones, so I'm not that, I can't build a super long one. But what I could do is build what I have from here. And this is sort of the same. You have to turn this thing kind of around to you sometimes to get, now I'm just two away. I'm too short. Do I have any other ones there? I have one more. I have to just take from Peter to get from Paul. Okay. Now look at that. He is touching the bottom. I'm not a huge fan. So now I have to build up again. Because remember, you always got to change this depending on what you have. So if I go up a little bit, now he's, right, where's that popcorn one? Where's the popcorn one? I might have to use that. I don't know. All right. I guess we're adding two more. All right. Now, in reality, because I have so many of these to make it straight, I'm going to use two of these to go here. Because I'm going to take the ones off that I had before. Because remember, I wasn't originally going to make them sloped, but now I'm going to add that to it. And remember, you're going to do your own thing. It's not going to be like mine. It's going to be your own creation, and that's okay. I mean, maybe it is like mine. I don't know. But I am not sticking with the same color right now. I'm just showing you the ones that we add to this. Okay, now we've added a slope again, just by creating those two long ones. And that to me looks pretty darn awesome. I'm very satisfied with this. So here we have it. We have your base, right? We have a bunch of one by whatevers. Whatever you have here, I have a bigger, longer piece here attached to two of these pieces, right? Or one long one with that little weird one by one. Then I have the long piece again, two short ones of one by one bricks, and then a long piece there. Now remember, I've created this one shorter because I wanted to have a slope. You don't have to have the slope. And I had to fix it because this guy touched the ground. I don't want him to touch the ground. So, oh, I need to add one more. I need to add one more, which I don't think I have another little one. Oh, yes, I do. And remember, I always like to add, that doesn't work. Do I not have any more? I don't think I have any more. I have a lot of chains. I don't have any more rings, which are actually vests, I think. All right, let's just say I have another life vest. I do. Here we go. Here's the next life vest. I don't like that it's black, though. I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't like the black to the black. Okay, so here's another one. We're going to add that to the very last spot, which is right here. And remember, you're going to have to add a plank. You add a plank right there so they can stand, and maybe a ladder to get up. So maybe this can be our plank. So I'm going to take this apart. I'm going to add that. I'm going to take this apart too. And then maybe, could I add it like this? Or does it have to go like this? Kind of has to go like this. That's okay. Now I'm going to add this to this. I'm going to add it back. So I've just added the platform by taking everything apart and adding it. Now we're going to add it to the top. And there we go. There we have it. So here's your plank, I guess. They have to walk the plank. Now, the only problem I see with this is that this is too high. It's got to be lower, I guess. It's got to be lower. So let's take that apart. I don't like how that looks. Let's take this apart. Take these off. I'm always switching it up. Let's just do 2 instead of that 3. And remember, if you have a shorter plank, why not use it, right? Oh, did I just mess this up? I totally did. It's helpful if it's in the right spot, right? All right. That is so much nicer. Okay, so in reality, I have to add 2 more at the very bottom. Maybe I'll go back to these. But I'm going to add it to here. I'm going to add it to here. All right, now I think I have it right. Now we add it right there. All right, now let's take him off and put him right here like he's waiting for his turn. That's actually pretty darn exact. So there you are. This is the very finished ring set. And I think I'm going to keep this one. This is the one I'm going to put on display on mine. Now, who's to say you don't have to have one ring set? You can add to it. You can add another ring set to go this way and have an L. Or maybe add another one and have a U and have a whole ring set so your whole team can practice at the same time, right? So by doing that, you've created yourself a whole section of conditioning. And you can remember this guy we built? We built those in one of the other videos. You could put this in the very middle, like this, and have them conditioning all around the conditioning set that you have, right? So if you've built this, when we put the gym together, we can put it together in a way that the conditioning section is in one part of the gym, right? And with that said, who's to say you can't add monkey bars? And that could be the monkey bars, right? All I did was add 3 doors together like this, and then put straight pieces at the top and the same straight pieces at the bottom. You could very well do that. That's a straight piece I used, right? And then I just added it side by side, parallel to each other. And then I did the same thing to the bottom. I added the same stick right to the bottom, except maybe that's not the same because it is shorter. It's shorter than the other one, but that's okay. That's when you come in with your 1x1s and fill them in. But anyhow, so this now became the top of your bars, right, for the conditioning set. So with that said, let's build another one. So there's that one. Let's build another one using this one, right? And let's do this one. We've already done, wow, that's really tight. That's like really nice. So we've already made these, right? Remember that? We've already made that. This here is my favorite one to do. This one is my favorite one to do. Because what we're doing, we're just literally creating however long you want to make these. And remember, it's however many chains you have. Whatever chains you have. Now, if you don't have chains, you can find yarn, right? Tie yarn around the top and go through each of these. This is why I love this one. As a matter of fact, I wonder if I can't find some yarn. I wonder if I can't find some yarn. And we can do that too. I am always finding goodies in my little goodie box. I have a whole box of just random stuff that I use randomly. So, this is from a dryer bag. It's from a dryer bag that we know. No, this is actually a sports bag. My kid played soccer and they gave this to us when we purchased the soccer shoes, the cleats. And that's the end. But we don't use this bag anymore. So, I'm going to take some scissors. Cut some off, cut another one off. Now, I don't really quite know what I'm doing, but here you go. You could take this, go through one section, right? And that's gonna be where your rings go. It's gonna go just like this. And then find a ring, which we'll use this one because now we can tie it to it, right? And you're just gonna kind of make a knot. And there we go. There you go. There's your ring. Now, of course, you have to do the same thing to the other side, right? Here's another ring. I don't have many of these. These are the ones I don't have too many of. But they don't exactly attach to any Lego pieces either that I can find that would look good for the ring set. So with that said, here we go. There you go. Except I did it wrong. I totally did it wrong. I should not have placed it through the first one. Let me undo one. It's the fun thing about Legos. You're gonna mess up and then you're gonna go, oh, okay. So if you do it that side, you're gonna have to go through, kind of weave in and out, right? And I'm gonna go through one, skip one, through one, skip one. It's going to look like a snake. So, in reality, you probably just need 2 strings. There you go. Except I cut that so short. So, my next string is going to be probably double that size. Double that size. Matter of fact, you know what we're going to do? We're not even going to cut it. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to cut. We're just going to go skip one. We're going to tie it around the first one. Okay, so we've tied around the first one, right? You got this long section. Now, I'm going to take the other end, figure out how long you want this. Probably, what, like here maybe? That looks good. And then you weave it through. Right, here's one of these. So we weaved it through. Now you can think, do you want it like this, or do you want it kind of further away? I'm thinking it's gonna look better further away. We'll weave it through again, and then weave it through again. Like I said, you probably just need 2 of these. That to me looks about right. So let's get another ring. I thought I had 2 of these rings. Where did the other ring go? I don't know where the other ring went. We'll just use this. Oh. Now we can cut the string off. Okay, so this is what that looks like. Depending if you have 2 rings, 3 rings, 4 rings, however many rings you have, depends on how long these are going to be, right? So there's that one. So let's just say we want to make it longer. We're going to add another one of these to here. And you're going to add the really nice ones on top, right? Make it look good. I always do the middle first because the middle is where it lacks the strength. And the bottom is going to be these pieces, right? So again, start at the middle because you want the middle to be strong, nice and strong. Looks like that. So smooth and rough at the end, at the bottom. Smooth and rough. And I don't have what you have. So you might have something way shorter or way longer. You're going to fill it out here, fill it out here. But you leave that space open. So you want to leave that space open on both ends. Mine looks like that because I added the 4-piece. All right, I don't have any more of the shorter pieces, so I'm just going to use the 2 pieces. Two for ones. 2 by 1s. All right, so here's what we have. We have all the straight pieces. We have all the rough pieces, right? And we've added, so it's extra strong. So that's not going anywhere. And now you can finish adding these. Weave it through until you get all of yours in there, right? Now remember, you don't have to add the rope if you have a chain, right? If you have your chain, and remember, I'm not a huge fan of it being super long. Because if you do it super long, what you get is they run into each other, right? They run into each other, and you don't want that. So I like, you can always go like this. Maybe. But you can find a way of making it shorter, I guess. I'm not sure, but I like to stick with the shorter rings. All right, so with that said, now you gotta make something for it to go on top of. I like to do this. Just like that. Right? Just like that. Now, to add that, you can find a base piece to put it on top of. I like to use these. Now, you can also use a door. If you have a door, use a door. Let me see if I can't find a door. Here we go. You can also use a door. However, the tops are going to be a problem because you can't just, these you can. I thought they were smoother at the end. They're not. So you're going to attach it to the top of the door. Right? It doesn't really work either because now you have this hitting it. So doors don't work. You can't use that. Sorry. But you could possibly use, you can use these pieces. You can attach that to here. That always works, right? You're just trying to find a way of putting it onto something. And then you can use the doors to go like this. Right, now we're trying to find a way to make your base. So, whoa. All right, moving it is very hard. All right, so there you have it. There's your ring set. Now, the problem is it's too low. They'll never be able to swing. So you have to double up on your door if you're going to make it this way. Now you have to have 4 doors for one, right? 4 doors for one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. That's if you want to use this. That's why I'm saying these are the easiest things to use. These are the easiest things to use. Super fast, super easy. You just put that bad boy on. That's how I prefer to do all of these. And they become super strong at the end. So let's just stick with these or find your own way of doing it. Now we just did the same concept with the other one, right? Now you're gonna have to figure out, you wanna keep it level or you wanna have a slope a little bit, depending on how you wanna do it. Now you do have to fill in the top parts here, like it or not, because if you don't, it's gonna be too weak, it's gonna move around. So fill it out so it is even and then put a top piece on top of it when you fill it in, like this, right? So if I do fill it in, I'm gonna take any piece that you have that will fit there to fill it out. I'm gonna add 2x1s, I'm gonna add this here, and remember, I'm not making this look nice, I'm just making it for the purpose of doing it. All right, so I filled it out. I basically made sure that this long piece is going over the piece that we built here to keep it on there. And that's what I'm doing. Of course, you can add a 1x1 there. You can add filler stuff in there. You can add filler stuff there. If you do that, it tends to look really nice. So if I do it that way, let's see. I'm showing you what it looks like, mine versus before, just to show you what it looks like. Okay, now, if you fill it out, see the difference? The side that looks really nice versus the side that's not quite finished, right? It's completely how you want to do yours. Now I added a bunch of stuff to the side that doesn't really need to be there, just to show you what it looks like. Now remember, if you add this, you can add a sign. 1 at a time, please. 2 people at a time. Don't climb on the top. You can add rules to this. 15 seconds. Only, can you beat 15 seconds, right? So add a rule sign for this. So these come in really handy if you want to add stuff to your set. Now you have to add 4 more pieces, right? Add 4 more pieces. The pieces that are going to be here to give it some height, right? You want to give it some height. Now I need 2 more of those on the other side. Now I'm not going to add all of this because you guys understand the logic of this whole thing. Now, once you have that completed, you can now put it onto your base. Figure out where your base is going to sit according to yours, right? You might want to add another one. So I might want to add it. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add this one way to the left at the very corner of my set. Because I'm planning ahead, that's what I'm doing. I'm planning ahead. Because remember, if I want to add it to the one I just made, make an L out of it, that's the one we just made. If the rings would be coming down. All right, that's the one we just made, right? Now, if I want to add the one that I made previously, which is this one, I can add that right to here. Now that I made two of them, it looks like an L, right? How cool is that? I've actually attached this. This is very movable. You can move this from wherever you want to move it to, now that we have that one. Now, I'm going to add to this one. I'm going to add a third one. So I'm going to need another base piece, right? Now the next base piece, I don't have, it's not very long. Mine's super, super short. So maybe this will be a little mini one, a little mini thing. Maybe I'll use this one because that one fits. See how that fits nicely? So that's what we'll do. So grab 3 of these. This is for extra long chains. This is for the extra long chains. And then you're going to add 4 of these. I like using this because it doesn't take long to build, right? And then I want to make sure that it's the nice side to the nice side. So kind of icky looking, nice looking, right? I'm going to be mindful of that. There you go. Now I just need 2 long chains. 2 long chains. Here we go. One. And then 2. There we go. So this is the top of the other chains, right? Now the only tough part for this is the fact that I like using these techno long pieces because you're going to find that they go into here nicely because you're going to have to use it as a side piece, right? They go in there super easily, super, super easily. Just like that, see? Now you're going to find another long techno piece, right? Another long techno piece. Roughly the same size, but mine is not the same size. I don't know that I have, that was the longest one I had. So let's do 2 the same size. All right, here we go. That's gonna go on this side. And that's gonna go on this side. And they stick really nice. You might have to put it on a table or something and press down. But here you go. It looks like a boat. But it's not. So there you have it. Now you have to add 2 legs, 2 legs, just like we've done before. Question is, I'm gonna add that maybe? I think I'm, oh shoot. Bummer. Okay. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add that one and that one. Because I just like having that and it gives it more of a nicer look. Now, you have to figure out, okay, I have 4 of these. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you're going to do to the other. So here's what mine looks like, right? And you don't have to add these. You can add something that's a little thinner, and then you add it to your base. And voila, look what we have here. And I remember, we gotta go the whole way down with this one. Down to the left. And down to the right. That's how it looks. I added it way to the corner because remember, I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking ahead. Because remember, I'm going to add it to here. Now, I add it to there. I'm going to have to put on because I added two of the same pieces that don't have clips at the bottom. I'm going to have to add another one that is going to be, I don't have a 2x1 piece. It doesn't really matter. I'll just add these. I'm gonna add these to lock it in place. I'll add 4 of these. Ideally it would be one like 4x4 flat piece, but I don't have a 4x4 flat piece. All I have are these 2 pieces to connect it together. You can connect it together however you want to connect it together. Remember, it's going to be moved around, which is why it's important to connect it together now so it doesn't fall apart on you, right? And I might just double it up. So I might go 4 across and then 4 across the other way. Because I don't have that 4x4 piece. Actually, I'll just do 2. It looks nice. All right. So now, this here is our set. Remember, if you don't have the space, only do 1. You don't have to do 3, you don't have to do 4. I only do this for demonstration purposes, to be honest. So you guys have an idea of what you could do with the pieces that you have. Now, the fun part is actually adding the chains, right? I can actually add them now. And to be honest, why not add them at the very beginning, like that, right? And then I can make even more. See how that works? I can make a lot more. Ooh, look at that. Now we can have one more chain. Do I have any more chains? Yes, I have one more. Well, I got super lucky. I got super lucky because I'm going to add 6. However, the only problem with this is that I don't have it even. I don't have it even, and I'm not a big fan of that. But maybe we can caddy it. Ooh, could be a trick one. That's what we could do. We can have a trick one over here. We can have it zigzag. Or this could be the tricky one. That's what we'll do. We'll make this a trick one. All right, there we go. So that could be kind of a trick one. So we have the sloped one here, the regular one here that's just parallel to the floor, and then we have your trick one there. That I actually like this one a lot. I would say my favorite one that I built would be this one here. I like how simple it is. I like how these are all the same. I like how it's sloped, so they can actually go from the tricky one here to the medium one to the harder one. I like that. So I'm going to leave this built just like this, and I'm going to add this set to our gym somewhere to our gym. Now, with that set, we have one more thing to build, and it's going to be, it's not one more thing. It's going to be things around the gym. It could be the chalk box where you put the chalk in your hands, right? It could be mats, like a lot of different mats. I did one basic mat one, but now we're going to build more mats and lockers for the gymnast. Maybe there's a competition and all of the competitors have a spot for their things. That's kind of nice, right? Maybe I'll make a bigger bathroom for more people to attend if they're not upstairs in the cafe. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I know it was a really super long one, but I felt that this was too good not to build, too good not to add, only because I've only seen them in a few places. And with that said, that to me is what makes our gymnastics gym so unique. We have so many different options for all the gymnasts to excel and go to the next level. And if you're a gymnast, I hope this was helpful, and I hope this was something fun. And I want to see what you guys do too. So if you're allowed to comment and share what you've done in a safe space, that would be great. Ask your parents, ask whoever pays for your internet what you could do. Anyhow, we will talk to you soon, and I hope this was a fun one for you. Enjoy your night. Have a great day.